Long ago, in the lush and golden lands of Elensir, there stood a proud kingdom, blessed with eternal spring and ruled by a just and wise king. In the heart of the royal palace lived Princess Arya, a young woman beloved by all. She had hair like spun gold and a smile that could warm even the coldest hearts. But behind the beauty of Elensir, a forgotten darkness lingered. An ancient curse whispered through generations, hidden even from the royal bloodline. On the night of Arya's birth, a shadowy figure cloaked in wind and smoke had visited the castle. A witch, long exiled, murmured a curse as she passed the cradle. On her 20th moon, if her heart finds no one who truly sees her, she shall lose herself and become fire. The curse was forgotten, dismissed as an old tale. But as Arya's 20th birthday approached, strange dreams began to haunt her sleep. She saw wings of flame, forests burning, and a scream that seemed to come from her own lips. Each morning, she awoke breathless, her room warmer than it should be. Unbeknownst to the people, the countdown had begun. And far beyond the kingdom, in a quiet village, a young knight named Chaol was dreaming of glory, unaware that destiny was about to call his name. Princess Arya sat alone beneath the silver tree in the royal gardens, a place she once found peace. But today the wind felt strange. It carried with it the scent of smoke. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves and she closed her eyes. In her mind, she heard the whisper again, low, ancient, and filled with sorrow. You are not what they see. You are not only light. Arya clutched her chest. The warmth inside her had grown stronger each day, not the warmth of joy, but a heat that frightened her, a heat that wanted to escape. Her reflection in the palace mirror had started to change. Her eyes, once soft and sky blue, now shimmered with flecks of gold. Once, when startled, her breath had come out as smoke. The queen, though loving, noticed her daughter's unrest. But the king dismissed it. She is growing. Young hearts always burn bright. But Arya knew this was no ordinary fire. It was ancient, and it was alive. That night she sneaked into the royal library. By candlelight she searched forgotten scrolls. Her hands trembled when she found it. An old parchment titled, "The Curse of Flame-Born Blood." It spoke of a bloodline touched by fire, cursed to become dragon if unloved, unseen, misunderstood. A single line was underlined in red ink. Only one who sees the soul, not the shape, may break the fire. As she closed the book, a tear rolled down her cheek. Somewhere in the distance, thunder rumbled, and a dragon stirred in her dreams. Far from Elensir, in the quiet borderlands of Liran Hollow, a young knight trained beneath the grey skies. His name was Chaol, orphaned as a child, raised by old soldiers and scarred by war. He wasn't the strongest, nor the bravest, but Chaol had something few others had. He listened, not just to orders but to the wind, the earth, the eyes of beasts, and the silence between words. Lately his dreams had changed. He no longer saw battlefields or swords. Instead, he saw a girl with golden hair, standing in a burning forest, reaching out to him as if begging to be seen. He always woke with a pounding heart, smoke in his nose, and the echo of a name he had never heard before. Arya. One morning, a rider arrived at the outpost with a royal scroll. The kingdom of Elensir had declared a bounty. A great beast, a dragon, had taken residence on the Isle of Fire, threatening the realm. Chaol did not hesitate. He volunteered to face the dragon alone. Not for gold, not for glory, but because something in his bones told him this was why he had trained all his life. His captain warned him, "You'll be burned alive, lad." Kale simply nodded and whispered, "Maybe. But I've seen her eyes. She's waiting for me." And so, under stormy skies with nothing but a blade, a cloak, and a dream of fire, Kale set off toward the island where fate awaited. Kale's boat creaked as it approached the shore of the Isle of Fire. The sky above was red with smoke, and the waves hissed like serpents against the blackened rocks. No birds sang here. No trees remained whole. Ash fell like snow, and the air shimmered with heat. Still, Kale stepped onto the shore with steady feet. He climbed a slope of scorched earth, guided only by instinct and the memory of his dreams. He could feel it. Something old, something broken, watching him. And then, atop a black cliff, he saw her. A dragon. Its scales shimmered with gold and silver, like a storm trapped in flesh. Its wings stretched wider than a ship's sail, and its eyes, they were not beastly. They were human. Kale's breath caught in his throat. This was no mindless beast. The dragon looked at him with sorrow and shame. "Arya," he whispered. The dragon recoiled, eyes wide. A sound like a gasp escaped its throat, and fire flickered from its nostrils. "You know my name," a voice echoed, not from the mouth, but from within Kale's mind. Kale stepped forward slowly. "I've seen you, in dreams. You're not this monster." The dragon turned its head away. "Then why do I burn everything I touch?" Kale dropped his sword. "Because no one stayed long enough to see the girl inside." There was silence. The fire around the island dimmed for a moment. The dragon stared at him, not with rage, but with a glimmer of hope. And then, Arya, the dragon princess, spoke again. "Then do not run, knight. Not when the fire grows." Kale set up camp at the edge of a scorched clearing, just beyond where Arya the dragon perched silently. She watched him from afar, her great golden eyes reflecting the dying sun. He did not sleep that night. Instead, he spoke into the fire, hoping she heard. "I don't know why fate brought me here, but I won't leave. Not until I understand what curse has taken you." From the shadows, Arya's voice answered in his mind. "It wasn't always a curse." Kale turned to the darkness. "Tell me then, what was it?" And so she told him. Of a bloodline passed down from queens and witches, of ancient fire that once protected the kingdom. It was a gift, fire that warmed the people, healed wounds, and gave strength to the weak. But as fear of magic grew, kings began to silence the truth. The fire was hidden, the bloodline buried, until one girl was born with it burning inside her once more. "Arya, they feared what I might become," she said. "So they taught me to fear myself." Kale's hands curled into fists. "That's not your burden to carry alone." For the first time, Arya stepped closer. Her massive form radiated heat, yet Kale did not flinch. Her voice trembled. "Every night, I dream I am human again. And when I wake, I scream." Kale looked up at her, eyes firm. "Then I'll stay until one morning you wake. And don't scream." A gust of warm wind swept through the clearing. For the first time in years, the fire did not consume. It simply glowed. The days passed slowly on the Isle of Fire. Kale remained true to his word, never lifting his sword nor turning his back to Arya. He cooked simple meals over gentle embers, and spoke to her of distant lands and old songs. Sometimes Arya would lie beside the cliffs and listen. Other times, she would speak of her childhood, of secret corridors in the palace, of books hidden beneath pillows, of laughter that now seemed like someone else's life. One night, as the stars scattered across the sky like shards of broken glass, Kale knelt before her. "I made a vow to protect the kingdom," he said. "But now I know, the kingdom cannot survive if it loses its heart. You are its heart, Arya." She lowered her head, her snout inches from his chest. "I am also its curse." Kale reached out and placed his hand against her warm scales. "Then I swear this. I will not rest until I find a way to lift it." At those words, a strange wind stirred the ashes around them. From within the mountain, a hum echoed, ancient and soft. Arya's eyes widened. "The firekeepers." Kale blinked. "Who?" "The ones who once guarded my family's gift. If they still exist, they may know how to undo what was done." Kale stood. "Then let's find them. Together." For the first time, Arya unfolded her wings in full. They caught the starlight like mirrors and cast shimmering light upon the ground. "Climb on, night. We ride at dawn."
As the first rays of dawn spilled over the sea, Kale climbed onto Arya's back. Her scales shimmered gold in the morning light, and the air crackled with power. She spread her vast wings and, with a roar that shook the cliffs, leaped into the sky. Kale gripped a ridge of bone between her shoulders, wind whipping at his cloak. He had never flown before. The sky rushed at him, vast and infinite, yet strangely calm. Below, the kingdom unfolded like a tapestry, rivers like silver threads, forests like dark velvet, and towns like tiny lanterns glowing in the early mist. "I remember this sky," Arya's voice echoed in Kale's mind. "I flew here once, as a child, in dreams I thought were just stories." Kale leaned low against her. "This time, we'll write our own story." They flew for hours, following the call of the mountain winds. By midday, they reached the edge of the Ember Vale, a hidden valley said to be the last refuge of the firekeepers. The valley was unlike anything Kale had seen. Trees with burning red leaves shimmered without smoke, streams glowed with gentle warmth, and strange runes marked the rocks. But no one greeted them. Kale dismounted, stepping cautiously among the whispering trees. "Do you think they're gone?" Arya sniffed the air. "No, they're watching." Just then, a low chime echoed through the valley. From the largest tree, a figure stepped forward, cloaked in robes of ember thread, face hidden beneath a glowing mask. "You seek to awaken the firebound line," the figure said. Kale stepped forward. "We seek to lift the curse that binds her." The figure raised his mask. His eyes glowed like coals. "Then you must both be tested. Fire reveals truth, and burns away the unworthy." Kale and Arya stood before a ring of fire that surrounded the heart tree, the ancient tree said to be older than the kingdom itself. The firekeeper, now revealed to be the last elder of his kind, extended a hand glowing with molten light. "The curse is not merely a spell," he intoned. "It is a mirror of the soul, born of grief, fear, and betrayal." Arya lowered her head. "Then I am the curse." "No," Kale said firmly. "You are the key." The elder nodded. "To undo what was done, each of you must walk through fire, alone." Kale clenched his fists. "So be it." The elder led Kale to a chamber carved into the mountain's heart. Inside, glowing runes lined the walls. "This is the flame of truth," he said. "Step in, and you will face the moment that forged your destiny." Kale stepped through. Instantly, he found himself in the royal courtyard years ago. His younger self knelt, bloodied, as a nobleman struck him for defending a servant girl. He had refused to bow to cruelty, and it had cost him everything: his title, his home, and his peace. But as he relived it, Kale did not feel anger, he felt clarity. That moment had made him who he was, a man of honor, not vengeance. The vision faded. The flame receded. Kale emerged, changed, but whole. Now it was Arya's turn. She stepped into her chamber, where the flames curled around her like serpents. In the heat, she saw herself as a little girl, hiding beneath the castle stairs. Hearing her father bargain with a dark figure cloaked in smoke. "Your daughter's blood carries the ancient fire," the figure hissed. "Bind it to her, and she will protect your throne forever." Her father agreed. Tears burned down Arya's scaly cheeks. "He sacrificed me." But then, she saw something else. Her mother, kneeling before the same figure days later, begging it to spare Arya's soul, offering her own life in return. Her mother had whispered, "No fire is cursed, unless it is left alone." The vision faded. Arya emerged from the flames, her eyes glowing not with rage, but with purpose. Kale stepped to her side. The firekeeper bowed. "Then you are ready." The sky above Embervale darkened as storm clouds gathered, not of rain, but of magic long sealed. The firekeeper led Kale and Arya to a circle of stone thrones, ancient and cracked, each once belonging to a ruler of flame. At the center stood a pedestal upon it, a crown made not of gold, but of blackened ash, forged from the bones of dragons past. It pulsed with ancient energy. "This is the crown of ash," the firekeeper said gravely. "It binds the fire blood to one purpose, to defend or to destroy. Once worn, it will judge the bearer's soul." Arya stepped forward. Kale grabbed her hand. "Are you sure?" She looked at him, truly looked, as both dragon and girl, as fire and flesh. "I must know who I am." She lifted the crown of ash. The moment it touched her brow, fire erupted not outward, but inward. Her body rose into the air, surrounded by glowing tendrils of magic that twisted and turned. Visions poured into her mind, past queens who ruled with kindness, others who burned kingdoms to ash. A child alone in a tower crying for her mother, a dragon curled around a cradle. And then, silence. The fire receded. Arya lowered slowly to the ground. She opened her eyes. But they were no longer dragon eyes, they were human, though touched with gold. The curse was broken. Kale rushed to her, but stopped short, as her body flickered, half dragon, half girl, shifting like wind on fire. "I'm still both," she whispered, "but now, I choose what I become." The firekeeper knelt before her. "The line of firekeepers is reborn." Arya reached for Kale's hand. "And I won't rule with fire. I will walk with it beside those I trust." Together, they turned from the crown of ash, not as rulers, but as partners. The dawn of a new era. The castle gates opened, and Kale and Arya emerged, not as a knight and princess, but as two equals, united by fate and fire. The land of Embervale had long awaited this moment, the end of a curse that bound them all to a past of endless war. Arya stood tall, her human form now a symbol of both the fire she once carried and the strength she had reclaimed. Kale stood beside her, ever watchful, ever loyal, as they faced the people of Embervale. "My people," Arya began, her voice ringing clear and strong. "The curse has ended. No more bloodshed, no more fighting over a throne of ashes." The people gathered, silent, listening intently. In the distance, the fires that had once ravaged the land, now burned only to light the way to a new dawn. "I will not rule with fire," Arya continued. "I will rule with wisdom, with the lessons of the past and the hope for a better future." Kale stepped forward, his voice adding weight to hers. "Together, we will rebuild. Together, we will ensure that the mistakes of the past are never repeated." The people cheered, their voices rising in unison. A new era was beginning, and with it, a new chapter in the history of Embervale. The firekeeper, now a wise elder, approached them both. "You have broken the cycle," he said, his voice filled with pride, "and you have chosen the path of unity over division." Kale nodded, looking at Arya with deep respect. "This kingdom is not built on the ashes of the past, but on the strength of its people."
Arya smiled, the golden light in her eyes shimmering brightly. "The fire is no longer a curse. It is a light to guide us." And as they stood before the people of Embervale, the first rays of the new dawn broke over the horizon, casting light on the land once more. The future was theirs to shape.